Hello everyone, this is Remlays from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of 40k Lore for Newcomers. For this episode, we will be taking a brief look at the Tau of the Farsight Enclaves. As always, this is a brief overview for certain events, and as such, they will have in-depth videos dedicated to them within the future. So, without further ado, let's begin.
Learn to shorten your reach. If your foe can come close enough to negate your striking power, all stratagem is lost. And when all stratagem is lost, the battle is lost.
The Farsight Enclaves, named after their founder, Commander Farsight, is a Tau domain that exists as an entity wholly independent of the greater Tau Empire. Unlike those who reside within the Empire, the Tau of the Enclaves are not under the control of the enigmatic Ethereal caste. The Ethereals of the Tau Empire have since declared the Farsight Enclaves as the Forbidden Zone. The Enclaves themselves are comprised of approximately 4 separate planetary systems. Some of the worlds within its fold include Fiorlos, which serves as the capital world of the Enclaves and favoured by the Fire caste. Lubgral, the memorial world that is dominated by the Earth caste. Tinekla, a crystalline world that takes the form of a colossal dodecahedron that is home to predominantly members of the Air caste, and Salesh Hay, a collection of moon-sized orbs of liquid populated by members of the Water caste. Despite not conforming to the same societal standards that other worlds within the Tau Empire adhere to, each world within the Farsight Enclaves is considered to be a pinnacle of both science and artistry combined into a perfect meritocracy. Despite continued assaults from a variety of foes, such as the Orcs, the worlds of the Enclaves not only survive, but positively thrive.
Well, the armored humans first, then the heraldic vehicles, then the common tanks. Then, and only then, may you engage the common infantry.
The establishment of the Enclaves came shortly after the final days of what was known as the Farsight Expedition. This mission, led by Commander Farsight, was designed for the Tau to recapture several worlds that had been claimed by the Imperium of Man following the Damocles Gulf Crusade. Instead of obeying orders conveyed to him by the Ethereal caste, Farsight chose to engage a vast Orc force led by the warlord Grog Ironteeth, viewing the Greenskins as a threat needing to be dealt with more urgently, despite his objectives being almost complete. The war would last several weeks and span across several worlds, before the conflict would eventually reach its culmination upon the world of Arthas Moloch. When Farsight's forces battled against the Orcs, a warp portal would open up within an ancient temple upon the world's surface. Farsight would gaze upon the very energies of the warp, and what he saw terrified him, causing him to suffer from a mental breakdown and fall unconscious. Eventually, demons would begin to surge from this warp tear, attacking both Orc and Tau alike. Farsight would then order that all Tau within his fleet be used to launch a counterattack against this new threat. The Tau would take heavy casualties, including the death of the Ethereals who were assigned to the expedition, causing panic and confusion through the Tau ranks. Farsight would eventually restore order, and ultimately, thanks in part to his acquisition of an ancient weapon known as the Dawnblade, and several medallions found within the temple itself, would seal the warp tear and banish all demons from the world. Following the conflict, Farsight would receive orders from Tau High Command to return to the Empire, but Farsight, now aware of the power of chaos, believed that the Ethereal caste also knew about this terrifying threat to his people, and not only that, but deliberately kept such knowledge hidden from them. His belief in the greater good was not lost, but his possession of the knowledge of the warp made him realize that he was one of the greatest dangers to it. Farsight would disobey the orders from his superiors and would consolidate his forces upon the worlds he had conquered during the expedition, eventually establishing what would become known as the Farsight Enclaves. Farsight would eventually come to the conclusion that the Tau as a people can never truly be free while the ethereal caste exists, but fears the path of action that such beliefs bring. He would exile himself for a time, living in isolation within the mountains of the sept world of Violos, before making his presence known once more. Much of the consolidation work was done following his exile, and although they bore his name, the worlds of the Farsight Enclaves survived and prospered without both ethereal guidance and Farsight's leadership.
Faith is a powerful force indeed, it is true. We have our own faith, not in one of our number raised to godhood, but in a mutual destiny that cannot be denied.
Farsight would initially be declared dead to the Tau Empire, news that was accepted with much sorrow and grief. However, word of not only his survival, but the existence of his enclaves that had broken away from the Tau Empire would become known to the Ethereals. Enraged at this news, Aunvar, the Ethereal Supreme, would excommunicate Farsight from the Tau Va, or Greater Good, and would order all imagery of the Firecast Commander, such as statues or records, to be destroyed. Only one exception was made: the statue outside Farsight's training dome on his homeworld Viola, though this would later be destroyed at the dawn of the Third Sphere expansion. Those who dared speak of Farsight would be taken away for interrogation, never to be seen again. Aunvar would then dispatch Commander Shadowsun to hunt down and kill the traitor, though the relationship between the two seems to be slightly beyond hunter and prey, as Shadowsun willingly warned Farsight of the hunt. Unlike the Tau Empire, the Farsight Enclaves are not governed by members of the ethereal caste. In fact, the Ethereals are not even welcome within the Enclaves at all. Instead, Commander Farsight is effectively the head of state, serving now as both political and quasi-spiritual figurehead, as well as its supreme military commander. The Enclaves, while still adhering to the caste system of the Tau Empire, are seemingly not as stagnantly rigid or draconically strict as the Empire in terms of a society. As a result of this, combined with the actions of the Ethereals relating to Farsight, several Tau from multiple castes have even defected from the Empire in order to join the Enclaves. One of the most notable in this regard was the young and oftentimes pyromaniac Firecast commander known as Torchstar, who brought with her a vast number of prototype technologies such as the XV-104 Riptide battlesuit. More recently, many members of the Fourth Sphere of Expansion have defected to the Enclaves too, most likely fleeing censure from the Ethereals due to the atrocities that they themselves have committed. Torchstar would also become one of the Eight, elite warriors who serve as Farsight's lieutenants and legendary figures in their own right. The Eight not only include Farsight and Torchstar, but also Ovesa, a brilliant scientist of the Earth caste, Bravestorm, whose XV-802 suit now serves as his life support system, the noble Brightsword, Shavastos, the first Tau fitted with a pure-tide neurochip, Oblatai 90, who is a sophisticated AI based upon the personality and mindset of a once mighty warrior, and Arakon, who served as the Enclave Supreme Military Commander during Farsight's self-imposed absence. The Eight were the ones to save the core world of Violos from the Tyranids, holding the line by themselves while a counter-virus was developed by the Earth Caste. Between them, the 8 have over 600 years of combined combat experience, which in itself is no small feat for a race as short-lived as the Tau. And that concludes this edition of 40k Lore for Newcomers. If you liked this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. To those who are new to 40k, we hope you learned something. So, leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.